Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be taking a look at a company known as VRLA Tech, and this was recommended to me in my comment section from one of my viewers, and he was basically talking about using light PCs and saying like maybe you should go check out VRLA Tech because they kind of offer the same thing. And so I went and checked it out, and yeah, they basically do what light PCs does and a bit more. Now they're a little bit more of a professional company than light PCs. Not that light PCs isn't professional. These guys are like an actual, like, kind of a bigger name OEM that I haven't heard of. Now again, they're not huge, but they're mostly in the server space, and that's probably why a lot of us haven't heard about them. They're not really crazy into gaming PCs. They make custom servers, they make custom workstations, and like rack use and stuff like that. So they do all of that stuff, and that probably is what driving in most of the sales for their company. But they also sell gaming PCs, and these are all pre-built. They make them themselves, and they are on the same kind of basis that light PCs works on, in that they're using older hardware for a lot of them in order to get better value out of it. So they'll use like a old, kind of like 8 years old. I think 8 years old is kind of like the ballpark of how old their CPUs are, that are still good. Like, they're still decent in gaming, but they use those to lower down the cost for the PCs, and therefore you get a better value option for your gaming PC. So we're gonna be like directly comparing them against light PCs and seeing which one's having the better value. All right, so a couple of things I want to talk about first is, I think VRLA Tech is a much larger company compared to like gaming PCs, because their website looks more professional. That's how I would explain it. It seems a lot more fleshed out. It seems that they have a lot more, customer service stuff. I mean, it looks like they have a lot more widgets. They've put a lot more time into their website than light PCs. And again, this isn't any detriment to light PCs. Light PCs is a fairly new company, so they're gonna have to work on it in order to be competitive. But first impressions, this website looks a lot better. And they have all the helpful widgets that you might need. They've got their blog, the contact us, all their different stuff, again, their workstations and stuff like that. And they do provide for companies. It gives them a little bit more of a legitimacy factor than light PCs. Because if you're working in the server industry, there's an amount of reliability that you have to have in order to have like a sort of reputation, because all of those systems have to be made with the utmost care, because if you don't, then they're going to be suing your ass basically, because these companies who are buying these servers aren't small companies. They're fairly large companies, because these servers are really large machines. So there's a little bit more legitimacy to their company compared to light PCs, and that's mostly just to do because they're a bigger company. Alright, so we're going to start with their first PC, which is the Vulcan. It is their $400 computer, and it's got some pretty good specs, and they're around in the same ballpark as the light gaming PC. We're actually going to be using the Crown. These are both in the same price range, so we're gonna compare both of these to each other. So we've got the Crown pulled up, and we'll look at the Crown specs first, and then we'll compare it to the Vulcans. So you've got a 3rd generation Core i3, again, old hardware. This is kind of the thing that light technology is known for. They use old hardware to give you a pretty good value system. You get 8 gigs of DDR3 RAM, GTX 1050 2 gig card, pretty decent gaming performance out of this. 500 gigabyte hard drive, no SSD on this one, so you just get half a terabyte there. OEM motherboard, they kind of just source this from Intel. 450 watt PSU, same kind of thing, and then that computer case, and then you get Windows 10 Pro. So nothing crazy, but when compared to VRLA's Vulcan, it kind of gets stomped on a little bit for a couple of reasons. So it's a Core i5 2320, and this is a lower clocked Core i5, like 2400, like. It's a lower clocked version of like the base model Core i5 from that generation, and it's a generation behind of this i3. So this is a 3rd gen, and this one is a 2nd gen Core i5. But you're still going to get better performance off this Core i5 than you are going to get off that Core i3, especially multi-threaded workloads. This has got 4 cores and 4 threads, and this only has 2 cores and 4 threads. So, you know, that production kind of quality thing is going to go up with this Vulcan PC. Get a motherboard. It's probably going to be an OEM motherboard that's, you know, either used or, you know, they found it that's just kind of sitting on a shelf. Now, they've also got a 1 terabyte hard drive. So that's just beating out the overall storage in general, and they have a 120 gigabyte SSD. So, you know, in terms of storage, this thing is already getting destroyed. You know, that SSD is going to make this thing seem a lot more snappier than what this Crown is offering. As well, they've got a 500 watt 80 plus power supply. That's not what this is. It's a 450 watt. I don't think it is a rated power supply. Yeah, it says a 450 watt power supply. So, you know, you're not going to get that good efficiency for upgrades next time. And you also get 8 gigs of DDR3, same thing between the Lite Crown, and you get an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 960. Now, this is a generation behind the 1050, but it is up a tier of the 1050. They're pretty close to performance, but the 960 edges out the 1050 2 gig card like ever so slightly. You're not going to have like a huge more of like a graphics advantage over the Lite Crown, but overall the parts on this altogether are better than the Lite Crown. So that's 1 to VRLA Tech, and you know, that's a kind of a bad loss for Lite Crown. And as well, with this Vulcan PC, the case is a lot better than what you're gonna be seeing on the Lite Crown. You know, this is kind of just a old kind of your grandma kind of PC look to it, and this is actually like a gaming PC case. Now, you're not going to get all these RGB fans and stuff like that in there. It actually costs extra. So you're going to need to select that option. I think it's 5 high performance RGB fans. So it's going to bring it up about $100 for, you know, really nice fans on that case. So the 2 standard black fans should be fine. I don't really think there's any problem with that, especially because these components aren't really going to get that hot. And everything else, you know, you can upgrade your memory, or actually no, you can get a heatsink for it. I guess you can't really upgrade it. On Lite you can, but again, costs extra. So yeah, I think that this is a great starter PC, and if you're looking to pay $400 for a computer, I would get this one. This one's pretty great compared to what you can get from Lite. Alright, so the one up next is the Rogue, and we're going to see if Lite PC can redeem itself from that loss initially off the bat. So this one is the VRLA Tech Rogue, and it's got a Core i7 and a GTX 1063 gig card. I mean, those are the main features, but it's got a Core i7 2600, so this is the same generation as the last PC. I think that was the Vulcan. This is a 2nd generation Core i7, so even though it's a 2nd generation Core i7 and we're on 10th gen right now, Intel really hasn't done too much in terms of making their processors better in terms of like clock for clock performance. So you're still going to get pretty good gaming performance off of this nowadays. It's, you know, it's not overclockable, so you're not going to get like any more performance off of it. But yeah, it's still 4 cores, 8 threads. Going to be able to do, you know, a decent amount of video rendering right now. You know, as well, it's got that 1 terabyte hard drive and a 256 gig SSD, so you know, you just got a little bit larger SSD than the last one that we looked at. Same 500 watt power supply, a lot of other stuff, and it has 16 gigs of RAM instead of 8 gigs. And we've also got a 1063 gig card. So yeah, I mean, and the case got a little bit upgraded. That comes with this RGB strip. You don't, you know, there's no those RGB fans. You also have to buy those for this one. You can, I think you can upgrade to the 6 gig. So you can upgrade to the 6 gig card, which is actually a much better 1060. But it's going to go up $70, which I don't know if that's going to be a option for a lot of you guys. But if you're buying a $600 computer, this looks pretty good. So we're going to see what Lite has to offer compared to this. And they've got a Core i5 3470. In terms of overall kind of performance, that Core i7 2600 is going to beat your Core i5 3470. It's, you know, it kind of stinks, but yeah, that CPU on the VRLA Tech one is better. Now 8 gigs of RAM, well, that's half of what this one's offering, so that's also a loss there. Same graphics card, so nothing really going on there. Not as much storage for that SSD. Twice the storage on the VRLA Tech one for the hard drive. better PSU, and I mean, I guess you don't get these RGB fans that they're including, but the overall specs of this one is just worse than what VRLA Tech is offering for their $600 PCs. So that's another loss for Lyte PCs. These are going to be the last two that I'm going to be comparing on this video. If you want me to compare the rest of them, I can do that. Just leave a like and a comment down below. So this one's going to be the Legacy. This is the VRLA Tech one. This is the Legacy, and we've got, in terms of processors, we got a Ryzen 5 2600, a very good processor, especially for the price. It's one of the best processors that are out there, and I recommend this to a lot of friends if you can get it for a decent price. ASRock B450 board, it's, you know, a lot of upgradability there. You can upgrade, I think, up to, fourth gen. Yeah, you can go up 2 generations with that motherboard. So in terms of upgradability, this thing's already looking amazing. A 120 gigabyte SSD, so that's a little bit less than the last one that we looked at, but I don't know, it should be fine. A 1 terabyte hard drive, you know, again, same one as last one. Same power supply. The cooler for these ones are a lot better. AMD's coolers are always a lot better than what Intel's offering, so there's that. And then you get 16 gigs of DDR4, and then you've got an AMD Radeon RX 580, and then 2 standard LED fans. So they're just, I think they're these just light up ones right there. I'm not 100% sure if it comes with all the, I don't think it comes with the white cables. I think it comes with, does it come up with the light up RAM? It might be the 32 gig option, which gives you the RGB RAM, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. I'd have to look into it a little bit more. Yeah, so you'd have to get the white cables in order for it to look like that picture. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely a pretty decent priced $800 system. So let's go over and look at the Lyte PC one. Okay, so for over here on the Lyte PC side of things, we've got a Core i5 6500. That is worse than this AMD Ryzen 5 2600, so that's a win for VRLA Tech. Same amount of RAM. I'm not 100% sure what those speeds are, but yeah, it's the same amount of RAM. Now we've got the same graphics card as well. I mean, they don't really indicate if it's the 8 gig or 4 gigabyte variant. They indicate that it's the 4 gigabyte variant, so we're just going to call it the same thing. They've got the same exact storage configuration, and as far as motherboard goes, it's a B250. Now you're not going to get a whole lot of upgradability with this B250 motherboard. It's just an older motherboard, and you're probably only going to be able to upgrade to the i7 with the, or probably 6700K is probably going to be the highest that you can get on this motherboard. Now 500 watt PSU, 80 plus bronze, same as what we're getting in here. I guess RGB is a lot better on here than what it's going to be on here, that you're going to have to pay extra for, and you get Windows 10 Pro. So, you know, in terms of this, I don't think there's a clear winner. I mean, this one has a better CPU and better upgradability. So I would coin it that for the winner. If you want to do like any sort of streaming stuff like that, I definitely would take this one. But yeah, this guy's definitely the best performer out of the two by a little bit, not by a whole lot, but by a little bit. And that leaves the 3-0 record to VRLA Tech, which is kind of weird that I've never heard about this, you know, kind of overall group of people who are making these crazy good value computers against these guys who I've been talking about a lot and said they're a good deal, and now I'm thinking differently about that now. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple other things that's going on with Lyte PCs. I've been seeing a lot of stuff in my comment sections about delivery times, and I know that they're trying their best to, you know, help with those delivery times, but it's the whole COVID thing, and they've got a huge amount of orders that they've got to get through. But a lot of people are getting really upset because it's taking them like a month to get their computer, and they still haven't gotten it. And VRLA Tech supposedly has better infrastructure, and that they're only delaying it about 10 to 14 days. And then you should get yours after that, like extra waiting period. So if it usually takes them about 4 or 5 days to get the computer sent to you, it's going to take, you know, added that on to their delay. But that's a lot better than having to wait a month and not really understanding what you're going to be getting from your computer. So in terms of this, like, I would buy from them. if you're considering getting light PCs and you're not gonna get that upgrade that they do, because that's one thing that light PCs do. If like you're having a bad time with them, if you're not getting your orders right, they will upgrade your parts for you, which is nice. You're getting extra free performance. But if you want to get your stuff like within a reasonable time, it's probably going to take 2 to 3 weeks. I'd probably get it from VRLA Tech. Their stuff is just better value in terms of just like spec for spec against light PCs, especially in their low end. I can do a video on their higher end stuff, but I don't really think I need to. And they just got a bunch of different stuff that they're doing. I can do the build your own thing, but it's not really a gaming stuff. It's more of a workstation stuff. So they're not a whole lot of other stuff to talk about in this video. I just want to kind of have this little pro quo with you guys. So yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you guys enjoy the content. Join the channel Discord if you guys have any questions about buying options, any tech questions that you might have, or if you just want to talk tech to other people within the community. It's a great place or a great environment for everybody to hang out. It's positive. We ban all those guys who are trying to be toxic and stuff like that, so you don't have any fear of going into a place that's full of computer nerds and getting shouted out and stuff like that. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I hopefully will see you guys in the next one.